The Sony A7V has become one of the most talked about cameras of the year, and for good reason. Photographers and filmmakers have been eagerly awaiting its arrival, especially since Sony has stretched the A7V's life cycle for longer than usual. Although nothing official has been announced yet, mounting evidence and reliable rumors suggest that the Sony A7V could make its debut later this year, possibly around October or November 2025. That timing aligns well with Sony's pattern of refreshing its A7 lineup every few years. Initially, many industry insiders expected a mid-2025 launch, but reports indicate that tariffs, supply chain delays, and strong ongoing sales of existing models pushed Sony to adjust its release schedule. Now, with anticipation reaching a fever pitch, the big question remains: what can we realistically expect from the next evolution of Sony's most popular hybrid camera? Let's start by examining the build and ergonomics, which have always played a critical role in the A7 series' identity. Based on early reports and leaked details, the A7V won't reinvent the wheel. Instead, it will take a more evolutionary approach, refining what already works rather than overhauling the formula. This strategy makes perfect sense given that the A7 series has long occupied a sweet spot between professional and enthusiast users. Sony is well aware that this is the camera line many creators rely on for both still photography and video production. The company cannot afford to alienate that loyal user base with radical design changes. Physically, the A7V is expected to sport a sturdier, more refined build with dual card slots supporting both CF Express Type A and SD cards, ensuring flexibility for different workflows. That means creators will be able to use high-speed CF Express cards for demanding video and burst shooting, while still having the option to use more affordable SD cards for casual work or backup storage. This dual compatibility shows Sony's understanding of real-world needs, professional reliability without excluding users who don't want to invest in pricier media. Another area likely to see improvement is the electronic viewfinder EVF. The A7V's EVF, while functional, has long been a point of critique for those who spend long hours shooting outdoors or performing critical manual focus work. A higher resolution EVF on the A7V would be a meaningful upgrade, delivering a sharper, more comfortable viewing experience that approaches what we see in higher-end models like the A1. This may sound like a small detail, but in daily use, it can make a huge difference, especially for event photographers or videographers who rely heavily on the EVF for composition accuracy. Now, let's move to the most exciting part, the sensor and processing system. Rumors point to a brand new 44-megapixel BSI CMOS sensor, which, while not stacked like that in the A9 III or A1, should still deliver impressive performance. The addition of a dedicated AI processor is particularly intriguing. This AI chip will reportedly enhance autofocus intelligence, subject recognition, and image processing efficiency. Compared to the 33MP sensor in the A7 IV, this marks a notable bump in resolution, giving photographers more cropping flexibility in detail while maintaining excellent low-light capability. One of the more interesting rumored features is the inclusion of triple base ISO values 800, 4000, and 25600. For video shooters, this could be a game changer. It allows creators to work in different lighting conditions while maintaining optimal dynamic range and color accuracy, particularly when shooting in S-Log3, S-Log2, or HLG profiles. Those familiar with log-based workflows know how crucial a stable base ISO structure is for grading flexibility and noise control. This move would align the A7V more closely with Sony's professional video lineup, bridging the gap between hybrid and cinema cameras. When it comes to performance, the A7V appears to be getting a substantial boost. The rumored 20 frames per second in mechanical RAW shooting doubles the burst rate of the A7 IV. While this won't threaten the insane speeds of the A9 III's stacked sensor performance, it does make the A7V far more capable for sports, wildlife, and action photography. Combine that with an upgraded 8-stop and body image stabilization IBIS system and a next-generation AI-driven autofocus, and the A7V is shaping up to be one of Sony's most well-rounded hybrid cameras to date. Sony's autofocus has already set industry standards with real-time subject tracking and eye detection, but the new AI processor could further refine those capabilities, offering more consistent recognition across human, animal, and even vehicle subjects. For portrait and wedding photographers, this could dramatically reduce missed focus moments in fast-paced environments. Video performance has always been a defining aspect of the A7 series, and the A7V appears ready to push that boundary even further. Reports indicate that the camera could record 6K video at up to 30p, with the possibility of an 8K crop mode still on the table. While 8K remains unconfirmed and might introduce overheating concerns, 6K oversampled 4K recording is far more likely and far more practical. That level of oversampling ensures exceptional sharpness and color detail, making it a strong competitor against Canon's R6 Mark II and Nikon's Z6 III. The A7V would also likely include advanced 10-bit 4.2 internal recording, expanded log profiles, and potentially RAW output via HDMI, giving hybrid shooters a serious creative toolkit. For those who work primarily in video, it's worth noting that the A7V isn't meant to replace the A7S III or FX3. Instead, it complements them, providing higher resolution for photographers who also want professional-level video capabilities. The A7V is for those creators who move seamlessly between shooting stills and clips on the same project, valuing versatility over specialization. In terms of pricing and market positioning, the A7 IV launched at $2,499, and the A7V is expected to land around $2,799 to $2,999. While not cheap, that pricing still keeps it accessible compared to flagship models, maintaining Sony's dominance in the full-frame hybrid category. This positioning places the A7V directly against heavy hitters like the Canon EOS R6 Mark II and the Nikon Z6 III. Both rivals have impressed with speed, stabilization, and user-friendly video features, so Sony needs to ensure the A7V feels like a true step forward to stay competitive. The company's own high-end models, the A1 and A9 III, still occupy the top performance tier with their stacked sensors and ultra-fast readouts, meaning the A7V must instead excel in balance, offering higher resolution, better performance, and improved ergonomics without overstepping into flagship pricing. Of course, numbers and specs only tell part of the story. What matters most is how all of these features come together in actual use. For still photographers, a 44MP sensor means greater flexibility for cropping and large format printing, but also larger file sizes, so workflow and storage become important considerations. Burst speeds of 20 FPS sound fantastic, but their usefulness depends on buffer performance and card write speeds, which is why CF Express compatibility is so vital. Videographers will likely benefit the most from the triple base ISO, which could deliver cleaner footage in dimly lit environments like wedding receptions or documentary shoots without relying on aggressive noise reduction. Landscape photographers will appreciate the extra resolution and dynamic range, while everyday creators will enjoy faster, smarter autofocus and more stable handheld shooting. For users upgrading from the A7 III, this camera will feel like a major leap forward across every category. For A7 IV owners, the decision will depend on individual priorities. Those seeking more resolution, refined video options, or enhanced autofocus may find it worth the investment. But even if you decide to stick with the A7 IV, one thing is clear. Sony's A7 line remains the benchmark for hybrid mirrorless cameras, and the A7V looks set to strengthen that reputation well into 2025 and beyond.